Tonight I'm going to make chicken strips, baked beans, but I'm not making my baked beans in the oven. I'm just going to make them on the stovetop, and I'm also going to deep fry some fried okra. Now, before I do anything, I needed to get the chicken strips seasoned so they can go in the refrigerator and set a couple of hours. So what I done was I took two boneless chicken breasts and I cut those into strips. And as you can see, these are partially frozen because when I go to cut the chicken strips, I leave my chicken halfway frozen. It just makes it a lot easier to cut them. So how I season them is I'm going to season with some salt, black pepper. If you notice in my videos, I use a lot of black pepper. I'm going to use chopped onions or dehydrated onions. A little bit of onion powder. Not much because we already used the dehydrated onions. A little bit of garlic powder. I love cumin, and I put a little bit of cumin in my chicken. And I'm going to put one egg. And this is going to get messy because I just used my hands and I have washed my hands. I'm just going to get this all mixed up. Make sure everything is coated really, really well with the seasonings, with the egg. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cover this and put this in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. To make my stovetop baked beans, I start out with some bacon grease. What I do when I fry bacon, I pour all my bacon grease into this little pan and I keep this in the refrigerator. So in a small pan, I am melting some bacon grease and I'm also going to add some onion to that. I've had to learn to cook for just two people now that most of the kids have moved out. It's just me and Big Papa. And so I have had to learn how to cook a lot less. So this is how I make pork and beans or baked beans for just two people. I just don't see the reason to make a big pan of that and put that in the oven. So I do it on the stove top. So I'm just going to cook these onions down just a little bit. To this, I'm going to add 1 can of pork and beans. A shot of mustard. A shot of ketchup. A heaping tablespoon of brown sugar. Stir that up. Big Papa does not like his baked beans very, very sweet. I like them sweet, so it's a cross between the two. So what I'll usually do is I'll take a bite. I can taste the sweetness of the brown sugar, and I can taste the tartness of the yellow mustard. So to me, this would be perfect. We both get our sweetness and we both get our sourness. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to reduce this down. And I'm just going to let this sit and simmer as long as it takes before a majority of the juices have completely cooked out. My chicken strips have been in the refrigerator for about 3 hours now. So now I'm going to make the coating for that. So I'm going to take a spoonful of flour, and I'm just going to add some cornstarch, just regular cornstarch to that. And then I'm going to take this garlic pepper, sprinkle that in there, shake that up, and then I will put my chicken strips in there, give it a good shake and coat everything, and then come over here and throw it in the deep fryer. And as you can see, my beans have been cooking for, I would say, over an hour, and now they've gotten really nice and thick. Most of the juice or the broth is cooked out of those. And then I will deep fry some breaded okra when the chicken is done.